So welcome everyone, and I hope you are all okay. So I will start by asking a question. What is the definition of forgiveness? So we'll start by saying, what is the definition of forgiveness? So forgiveness is defined as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment. So if we keep resentment, so we cannot forgive anyone. And also revenge. If we keep resentment and revenge, we cannot. So toward any person who has harmed us, if we keep any grudge, any resentment, any vengeance, so we will never be able to forgive anyone. And so what does it bring us? When we forgive, what does it bring us? And forgiveness will bring the forgiver peace to begin with. If we forgive, we get peace first. And we get a peace of mind, and we free ourselves from corrosive anger. Because when we keep this kind of vengeance in our heart, so it's very corrosive anger. It can burn ourselves. So it involves letting go of deeply held negative feelings. It enables one to heal. When we forgive, we heal ourselves and we move forward. So with our life, then we know that we have forgiven someone and we move forward with our life. So I will start with this Mangalachara now. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadhati Swapadantikam Vandyaham Shri Guru Shri Yuto Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaisnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhave cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna again, everyone, and welcome to this talk. So now we'll start with what did Srila Prabhupada, what did he say? Oh, name is Srila Prabhupada. Okay. What did Srila Prabhupada say? He had the tendency to overlook at the fault of his disciples. So mostly for the sincere devotees, he would overlook for all the mistake that they were making, just to encourage the devotional service to the Lord. And he did not encourage the fault. He was lenient because he wanted to take the movement forward and propagate Krishna consciousness throughout the world, which he did. So Srila Prabhupada asked for cooperation, so that unitedly the Krishna conscious movement could be pushed forward. So he said that forgiveness need to be there. Otherwise, we will not be able to cooperate. There will be offenses. That's what he said. There will be offenses. It's inevitable in this age of quarrel, age of Kali. But if we keep grudges, we won't be able to carry the movement forward. So if we see that Srila Prabhupada, if the Guru has been able to forgive, and Govind also will forgive, for sure. So this is what the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66. He says, Sarva dharman parityaja na mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarve papebhyo mokshayashyami masucha. He said, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. So even if we had been neglectful of Krishna and have committed many sins in innumerable lives, if we just surrender unto him, he forgives us. He does not bear any grudge. And that we also see that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna said in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said here, when he saw the Virat Roop of the Lord, he said, that is chapter 11, text 41 and 42. He said, Sakheti matva prashabam yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam te vadam maya pramada pranayena vapi yakshavahas sartam asat kritasosi viharasayasana bhojanesu eko tavapi achuta tat sameksham tat samaya tvam aham aprameya yamam. So he's saying, Arjuna, he is asking for forgiveness from Krishna after seeing the universal form. So Krishna was thinking that he was equal to Arjuna was equal to Krishna. That was he was thinking. So he said, thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relax, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. So Arjuna is now he is thinking. He saw that he was on the same level of Krishna. Here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that Arjuna called Krishna Hey Yadava, because the Yadava's kings were subordinate to the Kurus. Arjuna was not serious. He was just joking with Krishna, his friend, as friends do. But Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna loved those kind of behavior, so that Arjuna could come down and ask for forgiveness. And when he saw the Virat Roop, so Krishna is so merciful that he forgives. He forgives everyone, whereas people don't always forgive. So we carry whatever one of the heaviest emotional burden we carry is a lack of forgiveness for others, and especially for ourselves. We can forgive even if we refuse to tolerate someone's behavior. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift that we give to ourselves, because if we don't forgive and hold on to a resentment, then our body and mind suffers. And if we are scared of forgiving, like when we are talking, somebody said that there is fear. So yes, if we are scared of forgiving, thinking that the people we are forgiving will hurt us again, we should still forgive and move away from the potential abuser, because we forgive them and then we move away from them. We don't stay in their company. So there are also some kind of people who they never, oh, she's coming now. That's the part. Sorry, my slide has been messed up. Okay, there are some kind of people who they never forgive. They will find any excuse to get profit out of anything that happens. So once again, okay. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I messed up with my all my slides. Sorry.
Are you promoting McDonald's now?
Yeah, I put it. Don't worry, I will tell a story on it. So can you hear me properly? Okay, so yes, so as I was saying, there are also some kind of people who never forgive. So instead, they will look for any excuse to get some profit at any situation. So here, there's a famous incident that happened in the US. So a woman, she bought a coffee from McDonald's. That's why I put McDonald's here. She bought a coffee from McDonald's and where we call the drive-through. And she placed a hot cup of coffee between her thigh, and then she drove away. And then the coffee spilled and she got burnt, and she sued the company. She sued the company and arguing that the coffee was too hot, and also that there was no warning sign on the cup. And she won the case, and she received like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So also she herself spilled the coffee, right? But people don't think that whatever happens is due to our own karmas. And some of them, they don't even believe in karmas. So, but for devotees, due to their transcendental nature, they often forgive. So there are innumerable instances in the Shastras where there are forgiveness. For example, when Krishna was only like, oh, what happens now?
Everybody's muted.
Oh, sorry. So can you hear now? Okay.
Yes, we can
So
hear.
when Krishna was only 6 days old, we see that Putna wanted to kill her. She went and she gave her, offered Krishna her breast milk, her poisonous breast milk. And Krishna accepted it, but Krishna did not only forgive her, Krishna liberated her. Krishna gave her the position of her own mother. So Krishna can tolerate anything, but sometimes he can tolerate offenses committed toward himself, but not to any of his okay, today is not a good day.
It's okay, Maji, don't worry.
Okay, so sorry. So as I said, Krishna can tolerate any offenses committed toward himself, but he does not forgive offenses committed toward his devotees. So as we can see here, that in the Mahabharata, when Shishupal was insulting him, and Krishna was smiling, and Bhima and Arjuna, they were very furious. But when Shishupal started insulting Bhishmadev, Krishna immediately invokes a Sudarshan Chakra, and he beheaded Shishupal, because for him it was okay, because he was smiling, but for Bhishmadev he could not tolerate that. And so here we can see similar. Right. So we learn from the story of Parikshit Maharaj from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18. and how Parikshit Maharaj was being cursed by the young Brahmana's boy, Shringi, but he could have counteracted. Parikshit Maharaj could have counteracted, but he did not. He just accepted, Maharaj Parikshit, he just accepted the curse, and he forgave the young Brahmana boy. So also Samika Rishi, the father of Shringi, around whose neck Parikshit Maharaj had put the dead snake, he forgave Parikshit Maharaj. So he had taken it as a blessing in disguise, and knowing that he had only 7 days to live, Parikshit Maharaj, he perfected his death. So whereas for us, we don't know when we will die. We ignore death and not getting prepared to meet with it. We are living in denial about the imminent truth. And often we keep grudges. We keep grudges toward others. And but Parikshit Maharaj, he knew that Kali was there, and he didn't want to keep living in the degraded era. So he preferred to live for a better world. So here still we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, we see the famous story of Ajamil, who was a pious person in his youth, but then he committed so many heinous acts, and at some point in his life, when he was about to die, he saw the fierce Yamadutas approaching him, and he started calling his youngest son, whose name was Narayan. And suddenly the Vishnu Dutas came, and they appeared to protect him. So the Lord was willing to forgive Ajamil due to his previous pious activities. He was given a second chance, and he immediately left home and went to Haridwar, where he performed penances for 12 years. And when he left his material body, and he obtained a spiritual body, the Vishnu Dutas came to take him to the Lord's abode. And this is another example. And then here we move on to say the Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4. We come across the story of Ambarish Maharaj, and he was fasting for Ekadashi, and Durvasa Muni visited him on Dwadashi, and Durvasa Muni said he was going to have a bath in the river, but then he delayed. So, and as we know, there is a time span to complete the fast during for Ekadashi, and Durvasa Muni was taking so long. Then Ambarish Maharaj, he consulted the sages present there, and they advised him to consume some water, that kind of breaking the fast, and as he was keeping nirjala. So as soon as a king, he drank the water, Durvasa Muni came to know about it by his mystic powers. So Durvasa Muni was, as we know, he's well known for his anger. And so he got very angry, and immediately he uprooted a bunch of hair from his head, and he created a demon which resembled the blazing fire of devastation. That was to punish Ambarish Maharaj. But the Lord sent his Sudarshan Chakra after Durvasa, who fled around the universe, even in the outer space. But Sudarshan Chakra would not stop following him. So he went to Lord Vishnu for protection. Lord Vishnu told him to go back to the person that he had offended. And then he went back to, eventually he went back to ask for forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj, who forgave him despite his determination to kill Ambarish Maharaj. Here we can see the real quality of a true Vaishnava. And now we move on to Canto 7, where we all know the story of Prahlad Maharaj, who is whose demoniac father wanted to kill him, and Prahlad Maharaj, he did not, because Prahlad Maharaj did not accept his father as God, and Hiranyakashipu, he proclaimed himself God, and then and he took Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as his great enemy. So due to Prahlad Maharaj's ardent faith in the Lord, appeared as Narsimhadev, Hawkman and Half Lion from a pillar, and killed Hiranyakashipu. The Lord then told Prahlad Maharaj to ask for any benediction that he wanted. But Prahlad Maharaj requested the Lord to forgive his father for all the sins he has committed. Thus the Lord, out of compassion and mercy for Prahlad Maharaj, forgive his sinful father. Also, we can see in Canto 4, chapter 2 to 7, how Lord Shiva also forgave Daksha Prajapati, who was his father-in-law. So the story goes, once in the assembly where Daksha was holding a meeting, Lord Shiva did not stand up to welcome Daksha. So Lord Shiva, Daksha was very furious and he insulted Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva did not take offense, nor did he tell his wife Sati about the incidents. But Daksha, being proud of his position, he arranged for an elaborate fire sacrifice where intentionally he did not invite his son-in-law, Lord Shiva, and his wife Sati. So, but Sati, when she knew about it, she insisted to go to attend that ceremony, even at the disapproval of Lord Shiva. And then when she reached there in the arena, she found that there was no place reserved for Lord Shiva, and she questioned her father, but the father insulted her. So she could not tolerate the offense committed towards Lord Shiva, who is a topmost Vaishnava. So thus, with her power, Sati immolated herself. And when Shiva learned about it from, he learned about the death of his wife from Narad Muni, he got very angry, and pulling a strand of hair from his head, he dashed it to the ground. A gigantic and fearful personality by the name of Virabhadra appeared, and by the order of Lord Shiva, this personality, he went to Daksha's arena and destroyed the whole place. So he injured the Brahmanas and cut Daksha's head and threw it in the sacrificial fire. Lord Shiva was then pacified by Lord Brahma, and he forgave all of them. He repaired the damages and he replaced Daksha's head by a goat's head. So afterward, Daksha went personally to ask for forgiveness from Lord Shiva, who immediately forgave him. So here we can see that great personalities, they do forgive. And what to speak of the Lord himself? If we go to the Bhrigu Samhita, we see here how Bhrigu Muni has disrespected Lord Narayan. So once a group of sages, they were debating on who is the greatest, Brahma, Shiva, or Vishnu. So they deputed Bhrigu Muni to go and find out, investigate on it. Bhrigu Muni is sort of testing the tolerance, because he said for that tolerance is a great quality and a sign of greatness. And so first he went to Lord Brahma, to his father, but he didn't pay his obeisances. Lord Brahma was very angry. Then he left. He went to Kailash, to Lord Shiva. So when he went to Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva was very happy to see him. Lord Shiva wanted to embrace him, but Bhrigu Muni, he stopped Lord Shiva by saying that Lord Shiva did not adhere to social etiquette, meaning he lives with ghosts and never take a bath, and he is not properly dressed. So Lord Shiva was very angry, and he had to be pacified by Goddess Parvati, and Bhrigu Muni just ran away from there, knowing that Lord Shiva was very angry. So he went to Vaikuntha, where he wanted to test Lord Narayan. And there Lord Narayan was lying down with his head on the lap of Goddess Lakshmi. So Bhrigu Muni went straight away, and he just kicked him hard on the chest. So, but instead of getting angry, both the Lord and his consort stood up and offered their respect to Bhrigu Muni. So Lord Narayan said, "Your leg must have been hurt because my chest is very hard. Please forgive me." And Bhrigu Muni, he was very, very ashamed of his bad behavior. And so he left Vaikuntha, and he went back to the assembly of the sages and told them what had happened. Then he declared that Lord Narayan was the greatest. So although he committed a big offense, yet he was forgiven. And on the contrary, the Lord asked for forgiveness from him. This is the greatness of the Lord. He gives and he forgives, and we can see a great example here. So if we refuse to forgive others and yet we expect to be forgiven, at the time of judgment, we will stand bare, begging for forgiveness, but then all our actions will be rewind in front of our eyes. So if we don't forgive, so we have to remember, don't ask for forgiveness. So if we go back to Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, there is a story of Prithu Maharaj, which we recently went through this canto. And here we can see Prithu Maharaj was trying to perform 100 horse sacrifices, but as usual, Indra, being envious, did not like that Prithu Maharaj will be more famous than him. So he stole the horse. So every time he would steal the horse in different disguise, and so every time he would be caught. So even though he tried different disguises, he was caught and forgiven by Prithu Maharaj. But then Lord Brahma advised Prithu Maharaj to stop the sacrifices at 99 instead of 100 and to be satisfied. So he accepted the advice of Lord Brahma and he received blessings from all the demigods. But Indra, he became very ashamed of his actions. So he repented and he went to Prithu Maharaj to ask for forgiveness. And here we can see that Prithu Maharaj is forgiving him and is embracing him. And if we continue in Srimad Bhagavatam in Canto 6, Chapter 17, so we see how Goddess Parvati cursed King Chitraketu, and the king who had the power to counter curse, but he did not do so. Instead, he forgave the goddess. It happened that King Chitraketu, he was traveling in an outer space he was traveling on an effulgent airplane given to him by the Lord himself. And so Lord Shiva was sitting in the middle of an assembly with many saintly people. And he had Goddess Parvati on his lap. And so King Chitraketu laughed loudly and expressing his wonder at Lord Shiva's being situated in that way, even though he should not have done so. Goddess Parvati got very angry and she cursed King Chitraketu. And then she cursed him to take birth in a very sinful family of demons. So King Chitraketu, he descended from his airplane, bowing down before Goddess Parvati with folded hands, accepted the curse, but also begged to be forgiven just to please her. That is, in his next birth, he became the demon, Vitrasura. And for him, it was a blessing in disguise because he was still a great devotee of the Lord. And at the end of this Vitrasura's life, he returned back to Godhead. Here we can conclude that no mercy will be shown to those who show no mercy, and no forgiveness will be given to those who cannot forgive others. Here, now let's move on to Canto 10 and Chapter 13 and 14. Here we see the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Lord Brahma, who wanted to test if Krishna is really the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So first of all, he stole all the cows who were grazing at a distance from where Krishna and his cowherd friends were having their lunch. So when Krishna went to check on the cows, Brahma stole all the cowherd boys and took them to his abode. So when Krishna returned back, he could not find his friends. So he realized what had happened. By his potency, he created all the calves and the cowherd boys exactly like the original ones. So when Lord Brahma came after 1 year, he saw all the calves and the cowherd boys the same, the original one. So he realized his mistakes. And then he brought the original ones back. He felt very ashamed of his gross misconduct, and kneeling down in his folded hands with his body trembling, he humbly offered prayers to Lord Krishna, asking for forgiveness. So similarly, we see the same thing in what happened in what Indra did. Indra sent forth devastated cloud and rain to harass the inhabitants of Braja, because Krishna stopped the worship of Indra. Instead, he convinced his father and the inhabitants to worship Govardhan Hill, the Brahmana, and the cows. With downpours of heavy rains, the cowherd community was disturbed, and so they approached Krishna, who lifted the Govardhan Hill for 7 days and protected the entire community. And then who took shelter beneath the hill. So afterwards, Indra, realizing his mistake, he took Surabhi cow and his elephant and went in a secluded place to pray to Krishna and to ask for forgiveness. So he did Arti and Abhishek and gave Krishna the name Gopal, which means cow protector. So Krishna forgave him. And another great example also is from Mahabharata. Here we can see when the Pandavas were in exile, and then Duryodhan, who wanted to ridicule the Pandavas, he went to the forest where they were, and he had a tent near the hut of the Pandavas. So because they wanted just to belittle the Pandavas, so Duryodhan, he had a great party with his friends and his brothers and Karna, and he had wines and women to entertain. But one time Duryodhan, he abducted a Gandharva girl, and the community got very angry. And so they attacked the party. But Duryodhan and his party, they were too intoxicated to defend themselves. But as soon as Yudhishthira heard about it, the incident, he immediately sent his brothers. He sent Bhima and Arjuna to rescue them. And then Yudhishthira, he felt very compassionate toward them because he was completely immersed in the thought of the Lord. So here we can also say that the best attribute of a believer, because they were believers, all the Pandavas, it can be forgiveness. So furthermore, while the Pandavas were still in the forest, and they came across the Yakshas. And the Yaksha, he asked, he was Yamaraj himself. He was disguised as a Yaksha. So all the four brothers, the four Pandavas, all of them went to have water. So they drank the water from the lake, and they didn't listen to the Yakshas. And all the four brothers passed out. But when Yudhishthira went to look for them, he listened to the Yaksha, who asked him many questions. And among them was one question, and what is the best quality of human being? And Yudhishthira replied, that is forgiveness. Then we can say here that forgiveness is greater than punishment. Forgiveness is the best form of love. So still in Mahabharata, we come to the story of Draupadi, where Aswathama killed her 5 sons. But she forgave because she was suffering so much, and she did not want the mother of Aswathama to suffer the same as she was suffering. And so here we can see that it takes a strong person to ask for forgiveness, but it takes even a stronger person to forgive. It is so hard even to imagine how Draupadi could forgive someone who has killed her 5 sons, but she did it. And then if you go in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavata, we have the story of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, he was very close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was born in a Mohammedan family, but he was chanting the Mahamantra. The Mohammedan, they were not happy with him, and despite their opposition, Haridas Thakur, he continued chanting the holy names. So the magistrate ordered that he should be beaten in 22 marketplaces. So he was being whipped, and then their idea was, if other people see him being beaten in the marketplaces, nobody will chant the holy name. So as he was considered an offender. No, so now the constable who were hitting him, they saw that in 2 or 3 marketplaces, Haridas Thakur will die. But Haridas Thakur kept chanting, even though they were hitting him so hard. So the constable, they asked him, they told him that if you don't die, we are going to be punished. So Haridas Thakur, he pretended to be dead, and so the magistrate ordered that his body to be thrown in the river Ganga, because the Mohammedans thought that when the dead body are thrown in the holy river, the soul goes to hell. That is the opposite that Hindu believe. So Haridas Thakur's body was floating. It floated on the river, and it came out in Shantipur, where Haridas Thakur met Advaita Acharya, And both of them, they went on chanting the holy name of the Lord. And Haridas Thakur, he forgave all of them, even forgot the incident. And so another similar incident is when Haridas Thakur, there was one person by the name of Ramachandra Khan, who was very envious of Haridas Thakur. So he wanted to blame Haridas Thakur. So he sent a prostitute to disturb Haridas Thakur in his spiritual life. But Haridas Thakur, he was not disturbed. And he welcomed the person, and he told her to wait, and then that he would fulfill her desire after he had chanted 190 rounds, which took about 22 hours. So the person waited for 3 nights, and after the 3rd night, she fell at the feet of Haridas Thakur and asked for forgiveness. She revealed the plan of Ramachandra Khan, and Haridas Thakur said that he knew about it, and he did not only forgive the person, he also made her a devotee of the Lord, and he gave her his own bead bags and his beads and asked her to chant and to change her life, which she gladly did. So here we can see again, if you continue in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, we come across the story of the 2 great offenders, the 2 great brothers. As I mentioned earlier on, the Lord, he forgives sins committed toward himself, but he does not tolerate sins committed toward his devotees. So here, these 2 brothers, Jagai and Madai, they hit Nityananda Prabhu. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about it, he immediately went to the place and he invoked his Sudarshan Chakra to kill the 2 sinful brothers. But Lord Nityananda, he being so merciful, requested Lord Chaitanya to forgive them. Thus, the 2 brothers being forgiven, they became the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So okay, so this one is in the recent history. There was this great personality by the name of Nelson Mandela. I hope everybody knows him. He was a great personality. So he was imprisoned for no reason for 27 years by the government of South Africa. But he emerged victoriously without any bitterness for his captors. He stated, "As I walk out the door towards my freedom, I knew that if I did not leave all the anger, hatred, and bitterness behind, I would still be in the prison," meaning that if he did not forgive his captors, he would, if he held grudges and against his captors, he would still be in prison within himself. So he just, with a feeling of, he would be imprisoned with a feeling of resentment, and that would seek satisfaction only through revenge. But he forgave everyone, and he was very happy coming out, and he never had any grudge against anyone. So here we can see that all of us, we have the ability to forgive, for it is a nature of life to show compassion, to soften our heart, which start the process of forgiving. So to get freedom from anger, we should learn to forgive, because when we forgive, we feel higher as we expand our capacity for flexibility, love, and compassion. So another historical figure is here, Mahatma Gandhi ji. So what did Mahatma Gandhi ji? He said that we can never forgive. So forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. So Gandhiji, he taught the world a lot of things about non-violence, about civil disobedience, and self-governance. But one of his most relevant teaching is perhaps the most enduring, especially in the time that we live in. So that is the art of forgiveness. We are living in a turbulent world where hatred and vengeance seem to be the drivers, that seem to be the powerful drivers of conflicts, which lead to a vicious circle of revenge. But Gandhiji believed that non-violence is infinitely superior to violence, and forgiveness is more humanly than punishment. He said, "An eye for an eye made, at the end, you make the whole world blind." So when we forgive those who have done wrong to us, it shows a mark of strength and confidence. Revenge destroys both person who harmed and the one who exacted the revenge, whereas forgiveness elevates both. The person who had harm is free, and the person who suffered ultimately has happiness. So we need to relearn the forgotten art of forgiving. And here we can see also Jesus Christ. He said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing, even though they were crucifying him on the cross. And he was there to save them. So they didn't realize that. Okay, now this is a picture. So whenever I visit the Mana, the Bhaktivedanta temple in the UK, I contemplate on this one picture at the Goshala. So why I keep thinking about, if one does not forgive, they will have to come back to commit the same offense to the one who have hurt them. In this way, it will go round and round in a vicious circle as a law of karma. And there will be no forgiveness. So, but it has to stop somewhere. So we have to we have to have the capacity to forgive and forget. And we need love to do so. So we may encounter fear of the mistake to take place again. But if we completely take shelter of the Lord, we will definitely help. And he will definitely help us. And there will be less chance of falling down. So also real forgiveness doesn't mean that one is weak. It's a feeling of success and improved self-esteem because one has the ability to forgive. And if we don't forgive, we might carry the karma not only from one lifetime to one lifetime, but also through generation to generation. Sometimes we see in some countries, people hate each other. Example, we say Catholic hate Protestant, or Jews hate Arabs, or vice versa. But if we ask, why do they hate each other? There is no valid reason for hating. And it's out of ignorance. It's a kind of culture. And so if there is forgiveness, it will stop. And there is, this is where our religious belief comes in. And if we really believe, if you have strong faith in the Lord, then it will be easier to forgive. And to forgive, one has to completely erase grudge and resentment from one's heart. Love themselves first, then they can love others. Meaning, forgive oneself, then realize one's worth and accept one limitation. So the first limitation is that one day we are all going to die. So why take the grudges to our graves? So that is where we should start from to gain a sobering perspective of life. Then one's heart will be filled with peace and contentment. Then forgiveness will occur automatically. So a lesson that I have learned from Bhagavatam is Canto 5, Chapter 9. So one can atone to reduce the effect of sin, but one must seek forgiveness for an offense committed towards someone else. So now there are some prayers that we do, forgiveness prayers that we do daily, on a daily basis. So first in the morning, when we wake up, we do the Bhumi Pranama, which goes like Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatasthana Mandite Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsam Samasvame. So, O Mother Earth, I offer my humble obeisances unto you, who are the wife of Lord Vishnu and the residents of the ocean, and who are decorated with mountains. Please forgive me for stepping upon you. And here, every morning, I'm sure most of the devotees do this prayer. When before we pick the tulsi, no, after we have picked the tulsi leaves. So it says, Chayanad bhava dukham cha yat hridhi tava vartate tat samasava jaganmata vrinda devi namastute. So, O Tulsi Devi, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly forgive me if I have caused you pain by picking your leaves and manjaris, O Mother of the universe. And then finally, this is this prayer that we do after doing our seva in the morning and in the evening. So it is called the forgiveness prayer for our offenses. So it says, Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardhana Yat pujitam maya deva paripurnam tadastu me. Yaddatham bhakti matrena patram pushpam phalam jalam. Aveditam nivedyam tu tadgrihananu Vidhihinam mantrahinam yat kinchid upapaditam. Kriya mantra vihinam va tat sarvam santi marhasi. Agyanat athava gyanat ashubham yanmaya kritam. Santi marhasi tat sarvam daseni va grihanamam. Stiti seva gatriya trasmeti sinchastitirvacha. Bhuyat sarvatmana vishnu medyam tavisistitam. Aparada sahasrani kriyanti harnishammaya. Dasoham iti mammatva samasva madhusudhana pratigyatava govinda nami bhakta pranashyati iti samsritya pranam sondaramamyaham. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here's the translation. O my Lord, O Janardana, whatever little puja or worship that have been performed by me, also it is without devotion, without proper mantras, and without the proper performance. Please let that become complete. Whatever has been offered with devotion, the leaf, the flower, the water, the fruits, the food offerings, please accept it out of your causeless mercy. So whatever has happened without the proper chanting of the mantra or without following the proper procedures, kindly forgive all that. Whatever inauspicious things I have done out of ignorance or unknowingly, please forgive that and accept me as your insignificant servant. So let my normal condition be service. Let my movement be holy pilgrimage. Let my thought be remembrance of you. Let my words be glorification of you, O Vishnu. Let my activities with my whole mind, body, and soul be engaged in you. And thousands of offenses are performed by me day and night, but thinking of me as your servant, kindly forgive those, O Madhusudana. O Govinda, your promise is that your devotee will never perish. By remembering this over and over again, I am able to retain my life heirs. So Hare Krishna. So this is the end. I'm sorry, I messed up with the slide again yesterday and today also, so please forgive me. Here is my forgiveness come. And so sorry about that. So Hare Krishna. Any question or comments, please?
That was very good,
Yeah,
Maji.
excellent. Yeah, you covered so much.
And you'll have to do it again because I don't know where everybody's gone. It's nice weather, and I think everybody's disappeared off to the parks. But anyway, but that was really good, Maji. And you're going to have to do this again a few times because just to get it ingrained into us that forgiveness is such a big thing. So I like it very much. And please do share these slides because people, if this is a huge thing in people's lives, it's they bear these grudges, and as you said, it burns them inside. It destroys themselves from the inside. And when you forgive, you actually. I love that Nelson Mandela's quote as well. So well done. That was superb, Maji.
Thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. And as I told you, I'm still learning these new technologies. I'm so old, so I get messed up. Even yesterday, I could not. Actually, I'm not so well, so I couldn't focus properly. Even yesterday, and I was telling, and the girls were telling me, "Mom, why don't you cancel it?" I said, "No, it has been dragging for too long, this forgiveness thing. So let me try it today." So,
but don't worry, you'll be doing it again, and not too far in the distant future as well, because I think it's important to keep hearing this.
So, Prabhuji, can you tell me how long did I take?
About 45 minutes.
Oh, that's good. 45 minutes, good.
Just
that's
right.
Good. Yeah.
Any questions, any comments for Mataji?
Just enjoyed, really enjoyed it, Mataji. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you for your appreciation, Aruna. How are you doing, Aruna?
I'm a bit better. Still a bit lethargic, but I'm getting.
Yeah, it will pass. Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Karuna.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation, Mataji. I have one question.
Yes.
What we can see from those examples that you have given, that many of them are very humble. So they beg for forgiveness like King Daksha begged for forgiveness, and Brigumuni also, and Chitraketu very humbly accepted the curbs from Mother Parvati. Lord Brahma and Lord Indra also begged for forgiveness to Lord Krishna. But what about others in this material world who are not humble and they have much hatred in themselves? So is it possible to forgive these person who may hurt us in the future? So if we are around with them and we are living with them and then they are not humble, they are not very easy to cope with. So forgiveness, is it possible at that time?
So as I stated it, even if we are not happy with their behavior, we have to forgive them and move away from them, because it is very difficult to live in abusive situation.
Yes, yes.
So it's like kill you, not only like physically, emotionally. And sometimes, you know,
Yes.
there is this emotional blackmail. That also we should be very careful about it. But also I
Yes.
said, if we surrender unto the Lord sincerely and we ask him to help us, he will take us from the situation. That is, I'm telling you my own experience. So believe me, it happens. It happens like miracle. You won't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did happen in my life.
So we may forgive and forget, and we live away from those people whom we find that they are we much hated, they are not humble, and they are not helping us in our devotional life at all. So
yes, that will help us.
Be far away from them.
Yes, that will really help us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Because it comes to our belief now. Our belief, we believe that Krishna will take us out of the situation. He does. He really does. Believe me, he does.
Yes.
So you will have to have great faith in him, and you will have to sometimes, you know, ignore the person and move away. That's the best thing to do.
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
It's good advice that if somebody is having a detrimental effect on your consciousness, then better to avoid.
Yes, just avoid, ignore, and then move away. Because, you know, even if you move away, they will not stop harassing you, you know, even if you live in a distant place. But the best thing is to ignore. Ignore, and whatever they are giving you, like hatred, just tell Krishna, I don't want it, please stop it. Make them stop it. So it works. You are laughing, it worked. It worked for me.
So it's not like we are accumulating bad karma, that we are not forgiving them because we are not talking to these type of people. So we are not going to come into this vicious circle that we have not forgiven.
No. That is when that vicious circle is right. We have forgiven. We have done our part. Right? Now we leave it up to the Lord to decide. But if we don't forgive, we carry that grudge. So we'll have to come back to do the same. And then if they don't forgive, they have to come back to do the same. So it goes in a vicious circle, right?
Yeah.
And that is a circle of karma. But it has to stop somewhere. It has to stop. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
And in terms of forgiving is okay, it's possible. Forgetting is difficult.
It is difficult. It's difficult. But then when we keep remembering, who are we hurting?
Yeah.
Ourselves. Because we are remembering that person. He doesn't know that we are remembering what he did. I know whenever tiny things you see, the least thing that make you remember what has happened. So then what are you doing? You're hurting yourself inside, right? So we have to let go.
Yes.
The thing about what I heard, and it actually is makes a lot of sense, and it's very practical. The only way to forget is to engross yourself in service. The only way to forget. If we completely engrossed in serving the Supreme Lord, then nothing will those memories, he'll automatically make us forget because we are.
So, sorry, Babaji, you know what? As soon as those kind of things come into our mind, as soon as we start thinking, just shake it up and start chanting Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we
people.
Yes. Anything bad, come, because we are human beings. We are living in this Kali Yuga. Even myself, as soon as I remember so and so had said such thing to me or had hurt me in a way, I just say, okay, forget it. It's done, and I start chanting immediately.
And in many ways, it makes a lot of sense because these are only instruments of our own karma, isn't it?
Yes.
Why be angry at the instrument? It's our own fault. We did the karma. We get in the reaction.
Yes, yes.
And that person is just the instrument. Is Krishna's instrument who's just giving us our payback. That's fine.
Yes, Babuji. But unless we get the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has a knowledge.
No, but even if you have that knowledge, it's still hard.
It is hard. Yes,
Still hard.
it is hard. Yeah.
Because
it takes time. It takes
time.
time because for me, after so many years now, I have started letting go because I say, as I said, I don't want to take anything to my grave. So
yeah,
let's just leave everything behind.
Excellent. No, very good. And you're the right person to teach this because you're actually putting it into practice. So
yes.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to give this class again and again. I keep repeating this, but it's very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I think the devotee said yesterday they heard me too much. Today they don't want to hear me. So
No.
No, it's sunny here.
No, Mataji, it's not like that. I'm sure.
No, it's sunny and it's nice weather and
oh, that's good. That's good.
They all disappeared.
So here yesterday we had snow. This morning we had snow. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the morning they started cleaning the road, so I couldn't sleep from